I bought 5 Amazon rangefinders around $50, and the reason why is because I am not a pro golfer, which also means I do not have the pro golfer money. And realistically, as a mid-handicapper, or maybe for you guys mid to high handicappers, we need a trustworthy number that we can get to clear a hazard, hit our shot, and end up in the hazard anyway. So let's see if any of these rangefinders, without any bells and whistles, just an accurate number, can help you lower your scores without emptying your wallet. Let's get into it. All right, so I am back from the golf course and I tested all of these against each other, and there is a clear winner here. But before we get into it, I do want to go through of all of the criteria of why I chose these ones and not other ones around this price point. First off, I wanted to choose one that was around $50. There is one in here that's a little bit more than $50, but pretty much all of the rest of them are under $50. The second criteria is I wanted it to be at least 4 stars or above. I think if I was to play with any of the ones that had less than 4 stars, it would have been a waste of my time. So only 4-star rated or above rangefinders are sitting on this table. The next thing is I wanted them to all be USB chargeable. There is one that is not chargeable. It takes that with that CR2 battery. That was my mistake, but I still kept it in the lineup because it's still under that price range. And the last thing is I wanted them to have a physical slope switch. The reason why I wanted that is because I didn't want to be like Mo and have a huge slope gate when I'm in a tournament. And so all of them have a physical slope switch on them. Okay, so now let's introduce the 4 contestants. The first one is this one called the Foyo Bai. I don't know who comes up with any of these names, probably a translator of some sort, but that is the first one. The second one is this Rev Sri. The next one is called a Sir Goal. Again, all of these with those criteria. I have the F1000S, and then the last one is the Peak Pulse. Now again, all of these range from about $30 to $55. The Sir Goal is the one that was a little bit more. And the reason why I did that is because I have one that has a external LCD screen. I really like that option, so I got one with an LCD screen too. For those of you that it's just kind of hard to read inside the rangefinders. Okay, so let's go through all the things that they all came with. They all, if it was rechargeable, they all came with a USB-C cable, not a charging block, but just the cable. All of them came with a case. So all of them came with cases, but there's definitely ones that are better than the others. I'm personally not super worried about a case. My bag, this is a Sunday golf bag. If you want to purchase one of these bags, I'll have a link down in the description, but it has a pocket for a rangefinder, so I'm not like super worried about it, but there are some ones that are better than others. So now the Sir Goal one and the Revistry one both had kind of similar clamshell ones. This is like a normal one that you would find on any type of rangefinder. It has a zipper and it has a nice little clasp on it. It comes with a carabiner to put it on your bag if you'd like. If you're looking for one that has a nicer case, those are the 2 that I would probably use. The Peak Pulse is an okay one. It's super soft, not very protective. It has a magnet on it, which is kind of nice. But again, has a carabiner so you can put it on your bag. The FS1000 comes with a nicer looking case, but I would say this is like one of the worst cases out there because there's no way to attach it to your bag. And so it's kind of a useless case. So if you're looking for a case that will attach to your bag, I want to get that one. And then the worst one out of all of them is this case right here. It doesn't even look like it's for a rangefinder. This one was for the Foyo Bai. Came with a carabiner to attach it to here, but it's not very nice, not very good looking. But again, those are the cases. They are what they are. Let's move on to the next thing. Okay, so initial thoughts on all of these. I would say the most premium ones, like feel-wise, is the Foyo Bai and the Sir Goal. These are the 2 that in your hand. They don't feel light. They don't feel like they're going to break. The circle one is actually like a metal finish, and I think it actually is like a metal aluminum finish instead of a plastic one. These definitely feel the most premium. While all three of these are very light, very plasticky, the cheapest one feeling is the F1000S. And then I would probably give it to the Peak Pulse next. It's super light. The buttons aren't very nice on the Peak Pulse. And I mean, ergonomically, it feels nice. And the Reversari is like a really close second. The buttons feel horrible on this one. But we don't really care about how well they feel. Maybe you do, and that's why I put it in the video. But really, we want to know the performance of all of these. So let's dive into the performance. And the worst performing one out of all of them was the Reversari. I can tell you that I went on the golf course, and I'll show some clips here, and I would try to get the pin from like 100 yards, and it would miss the pin 2 out of 3 times. Center. And it is a middle green, so let's see how close this is. 96.8, but I can tell you it took me 3 times to get the flag. Anything above that, like 150, it would miss it like 3 out of 5 times. And anything around 200, it might not even get you the correct number. And that's like the main purpose of a rangefinder, is to give you the correct number. If it was good between 150 in, I would give it a pass. But this one right here, I would decide not to get out of all of them. This is going back to Amazon. Now the Peak Pulse performed okay. It definitely performed the next, but this would be the third to the last one I would buy out of this lineup, mostly because it's not rechargeable and it doesn't perform better than the other 3 on my desk. It definitely misread one of the most often than any of them. The Peak Pulse, this is the one I had high hopes for. 116. I feel like that one's pretty good. I would say from 100 yards in, you could probably hit it 3 times and get 2 accurate reads. From 150 yards in, you could probably hit the flag 2 times out of 5 times. And when it comes to 200 yards, 1 out of 5 times it gave an accurate read when it came to the pin. When it came to measuring other things like the front of the green and stuff, it was just as accurate. But when you're trying to figure out where that pin is, this wasn't as accurate as some of the other ones on the table. And since it's not rechargeable, I would say I would skip this one. It also doesn't have a great slope switch when it comes to recognizing if it's on or off. It's on the back here, and it's not very obvious if it's on or off. So if you're looking for a cheaper rangefinder, I would skip on the Peak Pulse. That leaves us with these 3. The FS1000 definitely feels the cheapest out of the 3, but it's actually one of the more accurate ones out there. The slope switch has a light on it, so it's very obvious if it's on or off, which is very nice. And so if it's on, the green light will be on. If it's off, the green light will be off. I would say 2 out of the 5 times at the longer ranges, it read it correctly. The closer ranges, it definitely read more often. Read it 3 times, read twice incorrect. I would say this is a good contender. This is one of the cheaper ones. I think this was around $35. And for $35, getting a rechargeable, semi-accurate rangefinder is awesome. I think the one thing that I would say is the zoom on this isn't very good when you're looking through the eyeglass, at least not as good as the top 2 that I have that I tested out. And so if you got a bad eyesight and you're looking for a better zoom, you might want to skip on this, but this would go in the maybe category for me for sure, just because it performs really well compared to all the other ones, and it's actually a really good price for the performance. That leaves us with these 2, and I would say the Froyo Buy is a little bit worse than this one. The Froyo Buy is actually a really good zoomed in rangefinder. It feels super premium. It has a nice slope, obvious slope switch on the side. The things that make it so that I don't trust it as much as this when it comes to yardages, when you are going, this one actually performed the worst At the long range flag test, it read 0 out of 5 times. I hit that 3 times and it did not correctly, which is not a huge deal for me because when I am at that 220, 240 yard distance there, I'm not usually doing the pin. I'm usually doing like the front of the green, or I'm seeing if I can clear a hazard. The number I should be reading is the front of where the ravine is, or where the creek is. And so realistically, this actually works really good. It's just not very good at the pin seeking. If I was trying to do the front or rear of the green, it read it fine. It's just pin seeking. It always got the thing behind the pin, not the pin itself. And so that's why this one right here goes into the second chord category. I would definitely consider buying this because this is cheaper than the Circle. I just like the Circle a little bit better. And the reason why is because this is the one that I came out and when I tested it, I said, this is the one I trust. Every time I shot the pin, I trusted the number. Circle, this is the one that I think is gonna win, you guys. I feel like if you can't hit the flag 3 times and get at least the number twice and be confident in that, which this is 150, I don't think it's a working. And it started with that 241 shot. It read it 4 out of 5 times correctly, and it's like 44, 244, read it each and every time. And this one's kind of cool because it has the LCD screen on it, so I really like this one so far. And you know it's correct. It's a really good zoom. It has the outside LCD screen. It's a really good price. It's not $300, and it's something that I definitely would trust on the golf course. It has all of the good features. And so if you're looking for the rangefinder, go ahead and check this one out or any of the other ones out. They'll be linked down in the description. I'm not trying to sell these, but they are affiliate links. So if you want to help the channel out and you felt like this video helped you choose a great rangefinder for around $50, go ahead and purchase it through those links. Go ahead and give this video a like. And until next time, make golf your project. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.